and we will get started. Hi, I am Dr. Karen Hills Pruden, and I am so excited about my guest on today. As you know, March is Women's History Month, and I have been highlighting powerful women in my network, and I have a powerful sister leader for you today. So her name is, she's known as the product label queen, but she also has another business called MomAdvocate Foundation. Her name is Crissy Johnson. And Crissy, if you could tell the sister leader community a little bit about yourself, your businesses, before we get started with the interview.
Thank you, Dr. Pruden. My name is Crissy Johnson, and I'm known as the Product Label Queen. Product Label Queen is a commercial printing company that specializes in high quality creative labeling solutions for natural health and beauty products. So I am the person that you want to see if you want to brand your products and bring visual impact to your products to make sure you increase your visibility and also make more money. More eyes, more money. I'm also a big childhood cancer advocate. My son, King David, was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 1 year old in 2017. That is when I became the MomAdvocate. So the MomAdvocate Foundation, I am the executive director there, and our mission is to empower and educate and provide support and resources for childhood cancer families. Although my son is in remission, there is still a job for us to do. We need to spread awareness about this disease so that we can find a cure for cancer. And that is who I am and what I do.
Awesome. It sounds like you're pretty busy.
Yes, I am very busy.
So, with this being Women's History Month, my first question is, will you share with the audience the name of 2 women who have motivated you in life and explain why for each?
So for me, I'm going to say my mom. That is the first female that I came into contact with, along with other women that were in my life. And then also it is a representation of me. You know, you look at yourself, you're like, hey, I look like mom. I do things like mom. So that is mainly a big inspiration for me because some people don't have moms. They don't have that opportunity to have a female or a woman in their lives that look like them, that they can basically relate to. The other person that I would have to say as far as a woman would be my grandmother. My grandmother is a whole powerhouse. And just that, I would say that is my exposure to entrepreneurship, that I didn't realize that she was a business owner until I got older. As a kid, you just see people around you do certain things, but you don't really understand what it is that they're doing until you come old enough to appreciate that and understand why they do that. But the women in my life are amazing. And they do things that I'm trying to figure out how they do it, but they push through it. And I think that those 2 women have superpowers. And they're both are women of influences, and they also are women of leadership. So that it would be my 2 women that I would say.
Awesome, awesome. So, Crissy, do you feel that it is difficult for a woman to be career oriented? Why or why not?
I don't think it's difficult. I would say women, we naturally have this ability to adapt to our situations and overcome just about anything. When it comes to our career, I would say that it could be difficult depending on what career that you're going into, and what type of industry you're going into. Like for me, I am in a male-dominated industry in my business. So I would say that can sometimes be a difficult thing because you're used to seeing males do what I do, but then that also opens up a door of opportunity for other women. You kind of like set that stage for them, the platform, to basically help them, you know, open their eyes up and say, hey, I can do this too. She did it. She's doing it. I can do it. but there's definitely, I think we just women do it all. We can do it all. We're just capable. We are considered the helpmate, but at the same time, we possess those qualities that we need in order to get stuff done. We just know how to get stuff done, especially when we work together. We can definitely do a lot more in a group setting versus individual.
I love that. I love that. And I hear you say that your business is a male dominated business. So do you think it's beneficial for women who are in male dominated industries to network with one another, be mentors for one another, be a support for one another? What is the benefit of kind of coming together as women when you're in an industry that's dominated by men?
It's powerful and it's needed. And so we speak differently than men do. We think differently than men do. But if you get the women together in a male dominated industry, we can kind of brainstorm together as a group. And then you will be able to come up with more ideas. And, it's just when you're in the industry by yourself, it's lonely. Just imagine having just that one other person to help support you throughout the process. For me, when I finally found someone that was in a similar industry with me, is that I was like, oh my gosh, another female printer. Like, I got so excited. They understood the language that I was speaking without me having to go to my male counterparts. It made me feel more comfortable in my industry, and it gave me motivation. So it's crucial to have someone that is similar to you in that same industry, especially a female in a male dominated industry.
I love that. I love that. So let's talk about business versus hobby, because many times businesses are to generate revenue.
Correct.
So a lot of individuals, data says that most entrepreneurs make less than $25,000 a year. And then by year 5, over 50% of individuals who have opened a business have already shut their doors. Don't know whether that's attributed to the annual amount that the data says that most entrepreneurs make, but certainly there would be some difficulty living off of $25,000,
Right.
depending on where you live at. So why a business, and how do women make the transition from a hobby to a business so that they are generating revenue and running the business such that it is profitable and expanding and scaling and different things like that, so that they won't get caught in that whirlwind of it just being an elevated hobby that they may have to close the doors within 5 years?
So the first clarification you need is this your passion? I think sometimes when we have hobbies and we do it, we're making money, and then we get burned out because it's not something that we really want to do. We get tired of it. I would say make sure it's something you're passionate about, something you can talk about every single day, so you won't feel as burnt out and it won't feel like a job, because some hobbies can become a job once it becomes overwhelming. And making sure that you have support, and make sure you do the research, and basically make sure you educate yourself about how much you have to put into this business in order to make it successful. If you decide to convert it to a business, if you're doing it as a hobby, it's like, for me, it was a hobby. That was something that I wanted to do. But then I realized, wait, I can make money off of this. I can make money off of doing something that I love to do. Then it was converted into a business at that point. But I had to make the decision that I was going to invest in myself, invest in the business to help it grow. With the hobby, it is what it is. You don't really have a desire to grow it. It's just something that you do on your free time. But once it converts over to a business, there's so much more that goes into it. And I think the reason why some people fail before they even get to that 5-year mark is because they don't want to invest, they don't want to educate themselves, and they're not willing to take the risk to build their business.
Great answer. I love that. So let's talk about product label queens. So your business is a little unique, but it's a little common as well, because if we look around, labels are everywhere.
They are.
So tell me, how did you decide that this was the business for you?
When my son was diagnosed with cancer, when I decided that I wanted to make my own body butter, I tried it, I failed. I realized this is not something that I'm capable of. I just don't have the gift, but I love the design aspect of it. And then I realized that a lot of us were putting businesses out there without the proper documentation. I started noticing it and I'm like, this is really a problem. They don't know, or either they don't want to. So I educated myself about the regulations and what is needed on our containers to protect ourselves. And then I realized that there was a need for me. And what makes me very, very unique is that I have experience with designing. I understand branding. I also know what the FDA regulations are, and I can relate. Most print companies that you go to, they just don't bother to educate you about what needs to be done in order to make your product a success. I take the time to educate and inform my customer about what they can do to help increase visibility. And with that, if they make more money, I make more money. So we're in this creative partnership. So just imagine if everyone would partner together, we can make more money if we partner versus doing it individually. So that is the reason why I'm glad that I'm in this industry, because I have not found a company that does it the way that I do, very uniquely, with that one-on-one customer service, that one-on-one relationship to help inform them on how they can be successful. So that's one of the reasons why I think I am very needed. And I found out when I got in the industry that there was a demand for it because it didn't exist. So it's like I'm creating the blueprint for maybe people that come in the future, but just putting a combination of different services together that wouldn't normally be together is very unique.
I love that. I love that. So think about qualities that a business owner needs. Can you articulate for the audience what you consider to be the 3 top qualities of a successful business owner?
The first one would be communication skills. They have to be able to communicate effectively, because communication is like the key to every relationship. Along with communication, I would have to say, good with communicating, leadership. They have to be a leader in their industry to be able to help others. And then another quality would be, I would say, dedication. They have to be dedicated to giving the best customer service possible. Customer service is like gold. It's the top thing in every single business. And sometimes you can have the best quality product, but you can't communicate effectively. You can't guide your customers to the right products or resources that they need. And that could be very frustrating for the person on the other end that really needs your help. I think I listed 3, 1, 2, 3.
You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. If you want to give us a little extra, that's fine as well. So let's talk about automation, because STEM related, science, technology, engineering, and math, even though you may not be in a STEM per se industry, STEM is in every industry. And automation allows us to service a customer who may be across the country or even out of the country.
Right.
Automation allows us to sell items when we're not there physically, right. A product online. And so tell me how your business has benefited from the use of automation.
Man, I could talk about automation all day, but that is the key to my success, is automating a lot of things in my business. We can't be at our customers. We can't get to our customers all the time. We have people that are on overseas in other countries, other states. The time frame is different, but they still want to shop with you. So I would have to say that one of the things would be, as far as automation, is making sure that you're still providing that customer service. Either it's by automatic responses, or either if it's by communicating with them through email. We know that social media, it goes 24/7 all day long. Automating your post. You know that certain holidays are coming up. You know that Women's History Month was in this month, in the month of March. You could automate all your posts from that point on, where you can still engage with your audience and still be of customer service to your customers that may be in front of you, or customers that you're actually serving right now. But automation has really helped me, especially when it was just me on the team and no one else. Putting that automation in place is like having an extra person working for me, an employee, where they're taking care of this while I'm doing this. And I don't have to really keep looking at my phone all the time, where I know my automatic messages are coming up and say, hey, thanks for reaching us. What type of service can I help you with? Instead of setting that up will help them still have a good experience with me. And at the same time, I will most likely not miss too many notifications as I would if I was overwhelmed.
Love that. Love that. So you mentioned your son, King David. I'm not
Yes.
sure, do you have young sister leaders? Of course, we are a sister leader community. So do you have young sister leaders? And if so, my question is, if you do have young sister leaders, is entrepreneurship something that you encourage for your young daughters?
Yes, I do encourage it. It's their decision, but I always believe you lead by example. And so being that I am showing them and they're seeing what entrepreneurship is giving them the idea of what can I do that I'm good at, that I'm passionate about, that I can also make money doing it. So I always tell my daughters that if you're going to do something as a business, make sure it's something you love to do, that you will not get tired of, because we don't want you to burn out. And we also don't want you to decide that, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. Make sure this is what you love to do and you're passionate about. That is like the foundation of having a successful business. You got to be passionate about what you do, and to the point where it doesn't feel like work. So I definitely encourage them to seek out entrepreneurship. But if they choose otherwise, that is also, I'm okay with that too as well. But I would rather them have a job, a career, and then still have a side gig, if you want to call it a gig.
I love that. I love that. So, Crissy, as we wrap up, you have something big coming up later this year, correct? And I want you to tell the sister leaders community whatever it is that you want to tell them about this event that you have that's coming up.
So I have my first huge event, which is going to be the first annual Childhood Cancer Awareness Gala. We are going to be dressed to impress. We're going to have an amazing keynote speaker. We're going to go out and have a good time. And what makes this so unique is that we're having it this year is because in August, David will be considered cancer-free on paper. That means that he will no longer be on remission status and that he will be medically labeled as cancer-free. So we're not only celebrating that, but we're celebrating, that whole journey that we have came to the end of the road, that we finally am able to basically celebrate. Because if you don't know anything about cancer, you're constantly going to be going through treatment month to month, scan after scan. So it's something that you have to deal with for the rest of your life. But when you reach these milestones, it's best to celebrate them and cherish them. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So it's going to be on September 9th, which is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month for the whole month of September. And it's also my birthday month. So, so definitely connect with me on social media. You can find me under Crissy Johnson. Make sure you do follow me so that you can get the alerts about the tickets for the gala. We have sponsorship opportunities that will be coming out really, really soon. So please look for that. You can definitely help in any way by sharing the posts that you see, or you can also donate or volunteer. So we take all those things. But yes, I'm excited about this gala. This is the first time I've ever had an event this big. So it's let me tell you guys, it's going to be amazing. Like I just can't wait to release the keynote speaker. I'm so excited. I'm just really ready to just celebrate, have a good time. We're gonna have a live band, good food. Yeah, and the tickets will sell out fast. So even if you can't make it, purchase a ticket for somebody else. Matter of fact, you can sponsor a ticket for a childhood cancer mom that they still be going through the journey. That's another opportunity to give back, because they may not be able to afford to come to the gala, but you can sponsor that and make a difference in someone's life.
I love that. So my very last question is, how does King David feel about his mom being a business owner, about Product Label Queen, and about MomAdvocate Foundation? I actually am a fan. I follow him on social media. From time to time, he pops up and he's dancing and he's doing different things and he's saying thank you. So how does King David feel about what all his mom is doing and using all of her talents in this great marketplace?
So David is very chill. So, but I think he's just, that's what mom does. He sees me giving back. And so I do spend a lot of time explaining to him why we give back to other people, because everyone's not fortunate like us. He does have questions because he's very curious about, well, why this, why that, why this person doesn't have this, why this person doesn't have that. But me as a parent, it's important that I do show him the gift of giving, what happens when you give to other people and how you can make a difference in someone's life. So for him, it's just, this is what mommy does. This is who mommy is. And hopefully when he gets older, he will be able to explain to me in his own words what that looks like to him. But I think because I've always been a giver around him, he's used to seeing that. So that's the best way I can explain it.
Well, we love it. So Crissy Johnson, a Product Label Queen and MomAdvocate Foundation. And so make sure you attach yourself to her companies and make sure that you participate in some fashion for the event that's coming up in September. I will be there. I look forward to it. And so I am excited. This has been a wonderful interview for Women's History Month, because I truly believe that Crissy Johnson is making history. You are watching history in the making right as she lived. And so I am excited about that. And so I am Dr. Karen Hills Pruden, in case you kind of chimed in a little later as this was airing. And I am the founder of Sister Leaders. And I want to tell you just a little bit about Sister Leaders. Sister Leaders is a community of men and women who are committed to increasing the number of women in senior leadership. We have conferences, we have webinars, online classes. I'm actually the CEO of Sister Leaders Conference, Sister Leaders Community, and Sister Leaders Academy. And so my goal is to help create as many qualified female leaders to help them sustain themselves for as long as they want to be in the marketplace. So it's not just acquisition of a role, it is sustainability as well. Because keep in mind, a lot of times people work their whole life to get to a senior leadership role, and then they find out it is not what they thought it was going to be. And so my goal is to tell them realistically what it is like to be in senior leadership, the competencies that are involved, leading people, leading change, using technology and analytics. And you gotta love analytics because you need to know your numbers. We have to be business-minded women. But if you can kind of fine tune those things and you can do it in large numbers and you're interested in senior leadership, then you will have a fighting chance. Go on and join my community, Sister Leaders Community. It is a free community on Facebook. We would love to have you. And I am Dr. Karen Hills Pruden, and I say goodbye. No excuses. Make it happen.